today we're finally making some progress on the round barn foundation. So we've got Vincent Excavating here. They have been working at digging the hole for about an hour or so. We digging everything out and getting ready for the footings that'll come later on this week. You'll notice here as he's digging, there's the yellow thing just off to the left. That is a laser level, and there's a little head on there that's spinning, and you'll see here as I grab the other end of it, the receiver end of it, so that is set at the grade depth that we need it at. So as I climb down into the hole here, you can actually hear the beeping, and the beeping is either faster or slower depending on if the bottom of the trench is a little high or a little low. So what he's going along and doing is digging it out, and then I'm coming along and kind of spot checking him, and when he gets it set right, then he's done with that part of the trench and moves on to the next bit. Now you're probably looking at this and you're probably thinking, boy, in Wisconsin the frost line is 4 feet, so you need to be down 4 feet. And here when you look at this picture, we're maybe only down 2 feet, maybe at most. That's actually intentional. When we get done, the barn will be 4 feet in the ground, but what I'm trying to do is raise the foundation of the barn up, so that everything slopes down and away from the barn. If you notice the white shed in the background and the grain bin, those were built about 40 years or so ago, and the ground just over time has moved, and those buildings are actually sitting down deeper into the ground now, and so we get a lot of water, especially in the springtime, a lot of snow melt that ends up inside those buildings. And so I'm trying to prevent that with this round barn, so we're actually putting it, the top of the foundation is going to stick out about 18 inches, and so we're going to bring in fill around the barn and build that up and have everything kind of slope away from the foundation of the barn. So it's been a few days later, and here Digman Construction out of Platteville, Wisconsin is building the foundation for the round barn. They're really good at building round foundations. They construct large grain bins, so these guys are perfect for the job. What they're doing here is they've set out the footings, and they've laid those out, and then you see the cement truck come in and fill those in, and next they'll begin with setting the wall. All right, so I wanted to just jump in here and give everybody a quick update. The same time we're doing this barn foundation, we're doing loading dock work and some concrete up by the barn. So there's a concrete truck here right now, and they are up taking care of pouring the walls up there for that. But here I just wanted to show you, because the construction guys don't really like to be on TV or on video. So they're putting the walls in today. So they have a string there in the center, a center pole that they're basing this off of, and they have a tape that comes out, and then they're just going along and setting up the walls. And the forms are actually straight,
but they're able to, they've got some older forms and some newer forms, and they're able to just flex them as they're coming around to make it all work. And so, like, the inner diameter is a smaller circle than the outer diameter, so every now and again they have to come in and put, so like here's a 18-inch one, and the rest of these are 24-inch, I think. And so yeah, you'll notice the forms on the inside are kind of older, so they can just get a little bit of a flex in each of the corners and make that work and make that arch work. So up, and then they loosen up some of the bolts they set on the outside here to kind of give themselves a little bit of flexibility. But they're going along and they're measuring little by little as they go around, and they'll work their way around. And hopefully, let's see, it's Wednesday morning, about 10:30, 10 o'clock. Nope, actually only about 9:30. And I think by the end of the day they'll have this poured. So stay tuned. All right, good morning there. It is, what's today? Today is Thursday morning, and it's an exciting day. They are going to be pouring the foundation here later on. It's about, what time is it? It's 10 after 6. So here in about an hour, they're going to show up and pour the wall sections here for the round barn. So if you notice here, we've got the skid loader in the center. Once they pour this wall, then we're going to end up backfilling this with crushed stone. And so they put the skid loader on the inside before they put the forms up, so that they can come in and dump the gravel in from the side and then use that to spread it around and then compact it all. So I'm just getting things set up here, and I'm going to set the cameras up for the time lapse, and we'll watch them pour everything here. So stay tuned.
So here they've gotten everything all poured, the walls are all poured, and they've begun to fill in the center. So what you see what they're doing is they're bringing in loads of gravel and they're pouring it over the edge, the inside, and then spreading it out in real thin layers, and then they're smoothing it out, and then they're compacting it. So they're just doing it in what they call lifts. Every couple of inches is a lift, and so they just kept spreading gravel and compacting, and they went on like this for most of the day. And so here's the end of the, I think this was Friday. They were doing as much in the center as they could. If you notice, the outside of the foundation is still on. They still want that form on there, and I think they left it like that for the weekend and then came back on Monday and then finished up the close to the ring right on the outside. So they got that all done, and you see here now they are up near the top and getting kind of the final elevation set so that they can come back and do the pour in 2 sections. laying out the rebar, and they're actually going to do the building floor in 2 pours, first half and second half. And what you're going to see here in a few minutes is kind of an embarrassing story, but not really. I mean, it's also a good testament to show you how hard these guys work and how committed they are to making sure everything's right. I went up there in the afternoon. They started pouring this in the afternoon, and went up there and I said, aren't you guys going to pour this as a smooth, like garage floor finish? And they said, no, our plans are to do this as a brushed finish, which is more like a sidewalk, which is kind of grittier. And I said, well, we bid it as a garage floor. And it was a simple miscommunication between the guy that bid it and the crew there installing things. But luckily, I was able, and I caught it, and they were actually able to fix it. They didn't have a power trawl. They didn't bring it along because they didn't think they needed it. So the guys had to run and get a power trowel to power trowel the surface smooth. Because they started in the afternoon, they need that to harden a bit before it actually can be troweled smooth. And so what these guys ended up doing was staying out until 2 in the morning, waiting for that concrete to harden up so that they could trowel it and get the proper finish on it. So the guys started at 7 in the morning and then left at 2 in the morning. And it took so long because they normally pour slabs like this early in the morning, and then they use the heat of the day and the sun to help dry out and harden things, and then they can be done at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But as the sun went down, they lost the help of the sun and even just the air temperature. So they worked until 2 in the morning to get the foundation right, or get the slab right. And I tell you, it turned out great. It's just amazing. And then the guy left at 2 in the morning, and then they were back at it 8 o'clock the next morning to pour the second half. So just kind of a funny story, but just I mean, this crew from Digman's they were just absolutely great all the way through. Just real professional, did everything really nice. It was really well done. Just couldn't be happier with the work that they were doing. Here it is, all completed. Starting to do some of the backfilling around the barn. That just turned out wonderful. It'll be great. So now next up is the movers are going to come back and slide that building over and set it down on the foundation.